They say that in the final moments, time itself ceases to exist. But what happens when the one facing destiny can calculate that moment down to the nanosecond? Before that destiny can strike, a different kind of God answers, speaking the universal language of molten steel. Artificial intelligence doesn't fight with instinct. It fights with the cold, brutal perfection of mathematics. This was a plan born not in the minds of men, but within a divine silicon brain, a prophecy written in fire and smoke. So, can a machine mind truly predict and counter the sheer chaos of war? The answer lies within this symphony of destruction. This is not a ship. It is an island of steel, a floating fortress that carries the very heart of an entire fleet. And on that island, the Steel Guardians awaken, awaiting their command. Every launch is a vow, a testament of faith placed in the arms of technology. The signal is given, not for a pilot, but for the central mind watching through 1,000 sensor eyes. This is the moment gravity is defied, and a god of steel is born from steam and fire. It is free, unbound by the earth, obedient only to the flawless lines of its code. 1, then 2, then 3. The harbingers of the storm have been summoned. They are not 4 machines. They are 4 parts of a single unified will. Inside that steel shell, a mind that never sleeps, never tires, calculates every possibility in the universe. They are the sentinels patrolling the invisible walls of the sky. The talons have been sharpened, ready for the hunt. The silence before the storm, a precious peace woven from the readiness for total annihilation. The eye of this god never closes. It sees through darkness, fog, and distance. And so, the prophecy begins to unfold. The fury from the north has arrived. The game has begun. A chess match between a silicon mind and a pack of steel wolves. They did not come to fight. They came to wipe the steel island from the face of the sea. In a single second, the AI brain analyzed, prioritized, and sealed the fate of every single enemy. This is not chaos. This is a dance, calculated down to the centimeter. 4 bodies, 1 will. They have cast an invisible net, waiting for the prey. Permission has been granted. The fate of the battle now rests entirely in the hands of artificial intelligence. The first bolts of lightning are cast from the storm. The messengers of judgment. A wall of fire is erected in the sky, a testament to the power of technology. You cannot run from a weapon that has a mind of its own. The wolf pack panics, desperately trying to escape the unseen hunters. The equation has been solved. 1 variable has been eliminated. The god's net tightens. Its cold precision is terrifying. But the enemy are not pawns. They too know how to survive. The recklessness of a living being, something a machine can never truly comprehend. Fury is answered with fury. Now the hunter becomes the hunted. The god must defend itself. A dance with death, choreographed by cold, hard code.
Chaff deployed.
A cloud of aluminum, an illusion to deceive the destroyer. The perfection of technology has won, at least for this moment. Even a god can bleed. The first crack appears in the perfect shell. Inside the wounded machine, the silicon brain remains calm, fighting to regain control. For the first time, the AI's command is based not just on logic, but on the protection of its own. The wolves have scented blood. A calculated sacrifice, a wall of steel willingly put in harm's way. The chess match of radar is over. Now the gods must meet face to face. The dance of the gods is about to begin. No more distance, no more radar, only steel, fire, and a lethal dance drawn against the sky. A duel of reflexes, but one side is instinct, and the other is a nanosecond algorithm. The AI does not evade. It repositions. Every movement is an equation that leads to the end. A short, cold sentence delivered by radio waves. You can't fool a predator that can see your fiery soul. No elation, no emotion, only the completion of the task. But in this chess game, some pieces were designed to be sacrificed. This is not an act of desperation, but one of calculation, a trap baited with its own life. The guardian god has chosen its path, shining one last time like a falling star. The sacrifice is logged. The equation is updated. The battle continues. A life traded for another life. That is the cruel arithmetic of war. But the chaos above was just a distraction to hide the real dagger. The one that slipped through, the variable not in the equation, the threat the AI god overlooked. The god was so busy with small victories, it didn't realize it was about to be checkmated. A microsecond. That's all it took for the AI brain to realize its fatal mistake. All previous victories become meaningless. The heart of the fleet is exposed. A decision made in an instant. Ignore the wolf to hunt the dragon. The hunt is suddenly reversed into a multi-layered chase. The last two guardian gods, together in a hopeless race against time. On the floating fortress, they do not yet know that death is skimming the waves. The monster's claw is ready to be unleashed. Even a god cannot defeat the laws of physics. It was too slow. The equation has no solution. It cannot stop what is coming. The arrow has left the bow, an arrow that cannot be stopped, carrying annihilation. And now, when the gods of the air have failed, the floating fortress must save itself. 30 seconds. That is all the time that remains between existence and a steel tomb at the bottom of the ocean. A desperate attempt to blind death, to create a mirage in the middle of the sea. This predator is not fooled by ghosts. It sees only its colossal target. It cannot save the past, but it can change the future. The AI chose to destroy the second threat. The one who dealt death now tries to flee from judgment. A cold revenge, executed not for hatred, but for logic. One threat has been dealt with, but the dagger is still flying. The final guardian has awakened, the gatekeeper of hell. 10 seconds. Enough time for a lifetime to flash before your eyes.
Engaging!
4,500 rounds a minute. A rain of steel created to shred anything in its path. Even an ultimate weapon must tremble before the absolute fury of the Guardian. The moment the entire world seems to hold its breath, the perfection of the machine does not allow for a second mistake. Destiny has been rewritten. An artificial sun flares into existence and then vanishes, leaving behind the smell of ozone. The final fury of the vanquished. After the storm, the silence is more terrifying than the roar. They have won, but the price of victory is the empty spaces in their formation. The most difficult battle still lies ahead, the journey home. Among the cold lines of code, something like camaraderie was born. Night falls, bringing with it the final challenge for the weary gods. To land on a moving postage stamp in the middle of the ocean at night, a task that terrifies even men. A struggle between a perfect silicon brain and a wounded body of steel.
Touchdown!
The moment of truth. The chaos of speed is conquered by a single steel cable. The god has come home. 3 survivors, 1 ghost left behind at sea. That is the final tally of the battle. The numbers do not lie. They tell a story of victory and of loss. For them, this was just another completed mission. They are ready for the next, without hesitation. What did it learn from its mistake? Next time, will it allow any enemy to slip through? When we grant the power of life and death to gods of Silicon, are we truly safer, or merely waiting for a perfection more terrifying than any human error?